Hello everyone. We finally have the product that we brewed from Christmastime, the Brewer's Best Holiday Ale. I mentioned in a previous video when I did the cider video that the bottle didn't carbonate, and I was really concerned about that, but it was only about exactly 3 weeks in the bottle at the time that I tried to film it, and it wasn't carbonated, so I was concerned, and I even mentioned I was going to probably throw it in a keg and carbonate it that way. But well, I got some good news. Apparently the beer did carbonate in the bottle and so I have it right here, my little Grosh bottle. And what happened was I was pretty sure that it didn't carbonate. So I took one of my kegs that I had just emptied Oktoberfest out of, that I drank, not emptied, I should use better choice of words there. Finished my Oktoberfest, cleaned and sanitized the keg, and was getting ready to put the holiday ale in there. And I popped the first bottle and it was carbonated. The pop just went pop! And there was smoke and carbonation, and I was like, oh my god. Because I was, it would have been the first time I bottled a beer that it did not carbonate. But guess what? Good news, it did carbonate. And what I did, since I had already went through the trouble of sanitizing and cleaning a keg, I said, I'm going to go ahead and pour it in the keg anyways, and just leave it in there, and just put CO2 on it and purge any oxygen from the keg, and wash and sanitize the bottles and use them for the chocolate milk stout that I've got right now sitting and clarifying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bottle chocolate milk stout in those bottles, and I'm going to go ahead and just leave the holiday ale kegged, and I'll just drink that for God knows how long. But but good news is it did carbonate. And what probably happened, here's what I think happened, is that I had a very, very low yeast cell count by the end when I finally bottled it. And between putting the priming sugar in there and the low yeast cell count, I think it took a little while for those cells to reproduce and actually start fermenting that priming sugars, because it came out very well carbonated, as you're about to see. So let's go ahead and pop the bottle open and see how it turned out. Give it a little pop. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that smoke coming out of there. So, got my little mug. Sometimes I like to drink my stouts or darker beers in a mug. And my other type of beers I'll drink in a Pilsner glass or tulip glass. You can see pour this real slow. Alright. There it is. Oh, yeah, it's all I smell is that sweet spice, sweetness coming from it. And the malt. You can smell the malt pretty good in this one. Oh, but it's when I smell it, I immediately think of dessert. Cooking up the cinnamony desserts in your kitchen around Christmas time. It's got a very nice nose character to it. I'm going to take a swig of this. Woo! It's got a little bit of that bitterness in the front of it, followed by a real deep, full malt character to it, and then the cinnamon, the spices, kind of right there towards the front and middle, and then you totally have spice and malt left over when you're done swallowing a sip of this. I'm gonna try again. So good, so good. This is a good, if I could describe this beer, and it makes sense why it's a holiday ale, this totally tastes like a beer that you would maybe have with your Christmas dinner, or have it as a dessert, like with a dessert afterwards. I just picture like cozying up next to like a warm fireplace and just drinking one of these. This is so good, guys. Brewer's Best kits didn't let me down with this one for sure. So, the cider video I did originally, I had set up all my lighting, camera, everything, and I had the bottle there of this beer and my glass, and I popped the bottle and there was no pop, no smoke, no carbonation. I poured it in the glass, it looked like thick syrup, looked just terrible. And I was like, I can't video this, but people are going to think this is just crap. So I scratched that. I already had my lights and my camera set up. I was like, oh, I might as well share the cider that I made, because I know the cider came out just perfect. So I shared that instead. But I really wanted to share this with you guys, but I didn't, and I'm glad I waited. I really am glad I waited, because it carbonated well in the bottle. It's not too much carbonation either. It's like kind of that subtle, nice bubble on the tongue kind of feel. You know, when you're drinking a stout or darker, any kind of darker beer, you don't want the carbonation too high, which is sometimes kind of hard to control if you're bottling. Because when you're bottling, you got to do your ratio of priming sugar to, you know, volume of liquid, and that's kind of challenging sometimes. At least I find it is. I don't bottle very often anymore. I keg a lot, so. But sometimes I like to bottle if it's a stout, especially stouts. I like to bottle stouts, because stouts, if you let them sit for a while and age, they're so good. And a lot of the additional ingredients you put in them really start to pop as they sit and age. So this one's been sitting since the beginning of December, maybe late November I brewed this. It's been sitting since then, and we're about 2 months into it, maybe a month and a half, maybe 2 months into it sitting in the bottle. But it's ready to go, and all the bottles I popped and poured in the keg were all nicely carbonated as well. So I was going to stop putting it in the keg, and I was like, you know, I already poured 2 in there, I might as well just pour the rest of them in there. So cheers, and there's your Christmas ale. I know it's almost February, but hey, better late than never, right? So cheers to you guys, and thank you for the subscriptions once again, and more videos coming your way.